Pasito tum tum, pasito tum tum, pasito tum tum, pasito tum tum.
Hola, this is your Willie, not CM Punk. Welcome to another classic modern film review. Do you know what day it is? Nah, that was yesterday. No, I'm talking about Batman! If Superman introduced the superheroes, then Batman made them look cool. And why not? He was dark and mysterious, and he was one of those few superheroes who didn't have superpowers, but he used his gadgets and intellect to save the day. He even surpassed Superman's popularity because he had this psychological depth in the story that made it interesting. So for the classic reviews, I decided to take on Tim Burton's Batman. Which of them? The two of them. But before I begin, did you know he almost ended up looking like that? But thank God that never happened. So, just like I did in Superman, let's begin this review with a little history of the character. Batman was created by Bob Kane in 1939 for Detectives comic. We all know the story, it's pretty much become Greek literature. Young billionaire Bruce Wayne witnesses his parents being shot and killed. This scars him psychologically that he dedicates his whole life to bring criminals to justice as a vigilante known as Batman, so that nobody goes through what he went. This character would evolve in the comics from being dark, later being kid-friendly, and then returning back to his darker roots. On television, he went from a propagandist, a hippie in the 60s, and in 1989, Tim Burton brought the dark cape crusader every fan was waiting for in Batman. I wasn't alive when it first came out, but the anticipation was at the level of Star Wars, breaking box office records, audiences and critics loving it. It was the movie everyone was talking about, with fans sneaking into the movie so they could see the trailer. It was one of those movies that I overlooked as a kid. The film starts off with Batman, played by Michael Keaton, cleaning up the streets of Gotham from the gangsters and thugs. One of those gangsters is Jack, played by Jack Nicholson. He later falls into a vat of chemicals which deforms him and turns him into the Joker, a demented clown-looking psychopath with diabolical plans of killing half of Gotham with his toxic chemicals. But it's Batman's duty to stop his plan and protect his love affair, Vicky Vale, played by Kim Basinger, from the wicked hands of the Joker. Like I said, this is a movie that I saw as a kid and I loved everything, from how Batman and the Joker looked, the awesome theme score, and the Batmobile. Looking into it again, I still enjoy it, but it's not a perfect movie. I didn't realize this about Tim Burton, but his set designs of this movie look impressive. It has a foggy atmosphere and at times it actually looks elegant, but also goes back to his gothic roots that you wouldn't see in any other place. This film looks like the studio and Burton compromised to how the movie should look as a summer blockbuster, but also include Tim Burton's touch with his artistic dark tone. He's very well known for having a unique style of directing with his orthodox choices he makes, like when he wanted Bill Murray to be Batman, but instead the role was given to Michael Keaton. Now here's the thing, before filming began, there was a petition to remove Keaton from the role because nobody could see him as the Batman. They just saw a comedian actor that would butcher the serious approach they were going with. But once he put on that suit, nobody could argue that he was Batman. I still question him as Bruce Wayne, but as Batman, he's naturally intimidating. He was quiet, he was mysterious, he always hid in the shadows, giving him a much more gothic presence and at the same time seemed more threatening. The shadows here, oh, I love the shadows, more shadow please, shadowgasm! It's ironic in this movie we know more about the Joker than we do about Batman. Even though I didn't find him to be scary, Jack Nicholson does a great job as the Joker, being both entertaining and threatening at the same time. He has funny scenes like the dance museum, my favorite scene in the whole movie, but it didn't overshadow his villainous side as a psychotic killer. The makeup they put on him is so bright and colorful, but he's so creepy that yeah, you don't want to piss him off. At one time he was considered as the definitive Joker until this guy came in. Kim Basinger as Vicky Vale was okay. She looked gorgeous in this movie, one thing for sure. But she is brave and daring. She kind of sneaks her way to investigate dangerous cases which lead to her encounter with Batman and the Joker. Now the film does have its weaker moments. The romance, it's not interesting. Also the convenience that a younger Joker and a younger Bruce Wayne had a connection, I was like, eh. Or how about when Alfred led Vicky Vale to the Batcave? Ooh, someone's getting fired. I guess they realized their mistake when they re-mentioned it in the sequel just to poke fun of it. For me, the big problem in this movie is it doesn't explain enough to know who these characters are. It's like you have to know by details the story of Batman. If you don't, you might leave a little confused on what's going on. You can make an argument that if you take away your knowledge of the comics and the updated ones, take away whatever you know about the cartoons, the movies, the video games, you see this movie on your own, you would have no idea what's going on. Okay, he falls into a vat of chemicals, and how did that give him a permanent clown face and drive him into madness? While I'm not a big fan of his origin, the comic gives a better explanation to how it drove him mad and the movie doesn't. Okay, his parents get killed, and how did that inspire him to put on a bad suit? They don't explain why he makes these choices. It's like they were expecting everyone to know the psychological struggles that no explanation was ever given. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized in here it actually works. Because Batman is supposed to be mysterious and brooding. We know he's in a lot of pain, but he doesn't reveal the details that led to the path he chose. We're shown a few glimpses of his tragic past, and that's it. That's all we know. He doesn't let the audience fully know why he does what he does. He reveals much more of his pain through his silence than if he would have given a psychological speech, because in his world, this is a matter that concerns no one else. This is his own problem that nobody will be able to solve but himself. And that's why Batman is so fascinating. While Superman is cool, the difference between them is that while he will say that everything is going to be fine, Batman is like, no, it's not! He doesn't come out sugarcoating stuff or making up crap to say everything will be okay. In life, there will always be tragedies and losses and heartbreaks. But it's how you deal with them that will define you, whether you rise from your hardships and live with it and learn from it, or let it consume you and take you to a place that will destroy you in the end. Now that I think about it, this movie's kind of awesome. This is a movie you got to give a lot of thought to catch its meaning. Otherwise, you'll just see a superhero movie with no significance. But for me, it's nostalgic, the action is energetic and epic, it's dark, fun, the music by Danny Elfman still holds up as an awesome score. It's one of Tim Burton's classics, and it evolved the character to be appealing for kids and adults that to this date, it's one of the most favorite superheroes of all time. I give it 8.9 out of 10 stars.